Okay, we have Mr. Richard Stimson here today, and he has a success story to tell us. I'm going to let you just take it from here, Richard.
Okay, like Dr. Bale said, I'm Richard Stimson, live here in Texas, and my wife developed a what they started out with a friendly dementia back about 10 years ago, and it's consistently just over time, it's just gotten worse and worse. And then up about, I would say, up about it's been now, I can't keep the time, 4 or 5, let's say 5 months ago, anyway, during the summer of last year, up until about September, October last year, she was at a state where literally she was in a wheelchair most all the time. Very difficult to get her out of bed. We physically had to manhandle her to get her out of bed. We had to also manhandle her to get her out of a chair when she was sitting in a chair. And she wanted to sleep, all day long. And that's the neurologist told us that's a sign of the dementia that she has, that she's going to be going through that, and it's going to progressively get worse. Well, that immediately raised some red flags to me. I said, I don't want that. We've been married, 60 years now, and I wasn't looking forward to, losing my wife. So I'll break up to speak in this. Sorry, but anyways, so back in about September, a gentleman from Dominican Republic, I guess, who talked with Lori, introduced me to the Firefly program, the whole setup with the wand and the light source and everything else. Well, initially I was a little bit skeptical. I hear all kinds of things. You say, well, this is just somebody taking my money and it won't work. And so I just kind of held on for so long, and then I heard stories. We actually have a clinic here locally in Granbury, Texas, that uses a similar, not your system, but a similar light source. And they were saying this was having very good success. And so I said, okay, for the money, I can afford it. So I'm going to get one of these things. We'll see what happens. So this was late September, early October when I purchased the machine, the whole machine with the light source and everything else. And I started using it on her. We started out, probably me just reading the instructions and everything and following the directions. I was doing 1 week on, 1 week off, one time a day. And then Lori said, no, increase that. So we increased to more time and more days. So then very quickly, in about 2 weeks to 3 weeks after that, about the end of October, then we were actually doing the procedure for 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon, every day of the week. So we're doing that every day of the week. And so we follow through with that. Well, lo and behold, in about less than a month, I say a good 3 weeks, I started to notice some real significant changes in Judy. She was now more talkative. Her dementia had changed. And then in about another 3 weeks, now we're talking about first part of November to mid-November, we were saying, wait a minute. In the morning, I wake her up and she climbs out of bed. I said, whoa. She had to be physically handled to get her out of bed in the morning. She was physically getting up out of bed. She'd sit in a chair and we go to reach for her to help her like we always have done. I have a full-time nurse with her all the time too, because I still work. So we have a full-time nurse with us. And she was literally have to, lift her out of the chair. And Judy said, no, I can get up. And lo and behold, she get up by herself, up out of the chair. So she walks now, which she couldn't do. She was in a wheelchair. She's walking now, we use a gait belt with her, just so that the nurse or me, whoever's with her, in case she looks like she's going to slip or something, we got something we can grab as that gait belt, to support her should she slip. And she just continually got better. We took a cruise at the end of November to the 1st of December. And lo and behold, on that cruise, we went through a storm. The ship was rocking and shaking and everything else. We were walking down the corridor, and what we had done before that even, every time we get off the elevator, we were having Judy walk back to the room, which was way down the end of the corridor, from the elevator, way down to the end of the corridor where our room was. And she was doing that fairly well. I said, well, no, the ship's rocking so much, she won't be able to do it. I videoed her. She walked straight down that hallway by herself. The nurse was just standing there beside her the whole time. the ship was rocking. My camera, well, you can see my camera when I was doing the camera was shaking because I was moving back and forth as the ship was moving, and she's walking down the corridor. We were just dumbfounded, just amazed to see what she had done. We got back off the cruise, and it was time for her 6-month checkup with the neurologist. And she went to the neurologist. She wasn't in a wheelchair. We were helping her with a cane. She uses a cane. She went into the office, and the neurologist was like, you could see it in his eyes. He didn't know what was going on. He says, whoa, something's different here. He started talking with her and interacting with her. And he said, boy, her demeanor has changed. Her attitude has changed. Her ability to move has changed. And so that's kind of, we're still working on it. Here it is now, February, but we're still working on it. And we're seeing, little bits of progress along as we go, but amazing to see her be able to get up by herself, walk by herself. She feeds herself. We have to assist her with some things that she's trying to do just to make sure she's no fall. She's 80 years old like me. We don't want her falling and getting injured or anything like that. So we have to be very careful of her walk and stuff like that. But she's walking up the driveway now. Our mailbox is like 300 feet. Our driveway is about 400 feet long, and the mailbox is about 300 and some odd feet up the driveway. She walks up the driveway with a walker with the nurse and comes back all the way up 300 feet up, 300 feet back. She couldn't do that, 6 months ago. That would have been impossible. So we've seen some terrific results with the machine with her. We're very appreciative that we have access to that Firefly.
Wow, that's one of the best testimonials I've ever had. I mean, you gave someone her life back and yours.
In essence, yeah, in essence, ours too, yeah.
Wow. So, you probably thought of anything to say for those that are in the same situation that you and her were in.
I'd say, try it. What can you lose by it? Yes, a few dollars out of your pocket, but what's a life worth? That's the type of thing of looking at it that way. So yeah, the machine may be a little bit on the expensive side for some people, but even then, I would find a way of getting that machine and start using it. Don't expect results like, the next day or within a week or two. We didn't initially. It took some time. And we're still seeing results. And we've had, like I said, we've had it since we started using it in the 1st of October. And here we are now, the 2nd of February. But we've seen some tremendous results in that time period. So I'd say people should give it a try and use it.
Absolutely. And one last question. You said 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon. Were you doing it over her head?
Over her head, yeah. We
Oh,
do
just
the
okay.
other
So
two.
just
We do the gut. We alternate with the gut. And she has some back problems, so we do her lower back. So she's doing all three of those. You on the gut, at least on a rotational basis, because the gut and the back right together there. So about 2 weeks we'll do the back, and then about a week we'll do the gut. Then we'll go back to 2 weeks on the back. But all the time, throughout the entire time, we're always doing the head twice a day, 10 minutes a day, twice a day.
Okay. And by the way, don't be afraid to use it on yourself. You purchased it.
I
So
am using it. I didn't
a lot
want
of
to
times
say
people
that.
buy it. They purchase it for one person, and that's fine with the thought of using on that person. But then it's there, and you paid for it, so you can use it too.
I do it every morning for myself. Again, it's just a preventive measure. I do my head, this right is bald. I was hoping maybe it'd grow my hair back, but I don't know. But anyways, I'm using it on myself to prevent any chances. There was dementia in both my wife's family and in my family. So again, I'm using it as a preventative, just a precursor to try and ward off any problems like that, even for myself.
That's really smart. My father is 81, going to be 82 pretty soon. He's the real creator. I mean, I help, but a real creator of the Firefly and all this light therapy. He uses it prophylactically too. And I can't emphasize, I mean, if you had 10 minutes, you can even be watching TV or something.
Right.
Just do it,
10 minutes is so simple. Just do it. Yeah. I think I'm actually doing 20 minutes because I have a hearing problem too. So I'm kind of using 5 minutes and then 5 minutes on each side. So it really ends up about 20 minutes when I'm doing my ears and then my head. So yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, what a story. Thank you so much, Mr. Simpson, for taking the time with us today.
Thank
you. I really, really appreciate it.
She's good. You do what you want to do, but
How far do you have to go?
to the room right there. there. See that cart up there?
Yeah, the car.
Yeah, the cart. Come on, woman. Come on, woman. I like when you repeat that and say, come on, woman.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's all the crowd.
It don't change anything though.
They're making me work so hard.
They give you work today, mommy.
What?
Yeah,
They give you a work exercise today.
workout,
this morning.
yes.